Wait, are you are you gonna count me in? Whatever. I'm just gonna go for it. Welcome to the Queen's Lead podcast. I'm your host, Amy Singleton, and as a child of the 80s, I'd love to say queens rule, but they don't. Queens lead. Being a queen means you are worthy to be a leader of people. The guests on our show do exactly that. They are leading the way in their businesses, families, and communities. And they're taking their rightful place in the spotlight, leading and inspiring the developing queens in all of us. Welcome to the Queen's Lead podcast.
Now here's your host, Amy Singleton, the queen of realness, leading conversations about business, life, and the real shit you want to know.
Okay, now that we've all laughed,
I love
now
it.
we'll get
Yeah. No, I don't want this to be serious at all.
Okay,
Let's
good.
go. Welcome
This is
back,
my
everybody.
normal self, so
Like that's what I like. The intro to this podcast says, and the real shit you want to know. So here we
yeah,
are.
there we go.
This is real stuff, right?
Yep.
Everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Queen's Lead podcast. I'm your host, Amy Singleton, and today Athena Captain and I have already been having a ton of laughs and some giggles talking about accidental nudity on Facebook. Maybe we'll get into that. But we are smack dab in the middle of a series on Oklahoma women. And when I made a post in some of the bigger Oklahoma women's networking groups, Athena was tagged again and again and again. And it's obvious now that I've read her bio and kind of dug into who she is a little bit, the reason for that. She has brought, she's got a couple of companies here in Oklahoma. She is a mom to a special needs daughter. She runs her own business. Athena Captain is a consulting firm for helping business owners move forward. And I'm not the one to read the whole list of accolades, because I think you can speak for yourself way better than I can through some written bio. So welcome, Athena. I'm so happy to have you.
I'm so excited. It's already been fun. So yay,
Yeah.
this is gonna be a fun journey today.
It's gonna be fun. So Oklahoman, first of all.
Yeah.
From here?
No, ma'am.
Or transplant here.
I'm a transplant. I'm a
We love
military
it.
brat, so I've kind of lived everywhere, but I call California home. So don't hate me.
Mhm.
People
No,
from
that's how we get
California.
all our best people, is all of our military people come and we just embrace you with open arms, because you're
Thank
obviously still here. We're glad you're here in Oklahoma. So military brat, moved here when you were how old?
I moved here 14 years ago.
Okay.
So I moved to
Awesome.
Oklahoma as an adult, obviously.
Mhm.
And but so from California
Yeah.
to Oregon to Oklahoma,
All right. What do you love about Oklahoma?
the people by
The
far.
people.
So we were I tell people all the time, Oklahoma, if you are financially challenged and have a child with special needs, may not be your best option as a state. But if you have resources to help take care of your child, the community of Oklahoma is the absolute best community,
Yeah.
which is one of the reasons we moved here. The
Yeah.
community has embraced my daughter, embraced me, and it's just wonderful human beings here.
That's amazing. Tell us about your daughter. How old is she?
She is 19. Her name is Savannah. And she, how the world sees Savannah is that she is a wheelchair user, nonverbal, still in diapers, and has multiple disabilities. That's how the world would see her. If you know her, you know that she is opinionated, a cowgirl, loving, and she loves the mall. She loves to ride her horse, and she loves to go, go, go. And she is so full of joy and laughter. And the biggest thing about Savannah is to know the nonprofit my husband and I helped found 10 years ago now, almost 11 years ago, called Savannah Station, which is an equine therapy program, horse therapy program.
I've heard of this.
Yes.
I did not know that you were connected with that.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I get the
love
privilege of
it.
being the Savannah's mom. So
Oh my gosh, you're Savannah's mom. So what is tell I know what they do. Tell everybody what you guys do there.
so it's an amazing program. Our mission is to use horses for hope and healing. And it's a facility that utilizes horses for therapy for children with special needs. We also, in addition, have a group of, I forget what we call them, but They're youngins in their 80s that come out and ride one day a
love
week
it.
too. And then we
Yes.
are working diligently to also add to our program for veterans with PTSD. So horse therapy.
I love that. There is nothing like connecting with an animal of that size and like the
Oh,
spiritual healing that that can bring and the trust that the mutual trust that that brings like is like nothing else.
you know, I'll give you one of the things about Savannah Station that I think is so amazing is we have families. First of all, it's free for the families. So I think
Wow.
that's huge, right? But
Yeah.
we have families out there that have never heard their child speak, but the child will speak on the horse.
Wow.
We have children like Savannah that because of the therapy, there's one, she's had 8 major surgeries in her life. Because of this therapy, there's one less surgery. We also
Wow.
see behavioral changes, physical changes. And then from the mom and dad point of view, you know, one of the things I tell people is I wasn't gifted with watching her crawl or walk or talk and do the things that other people think are just natural. But
Yeah.
every Tuesday night, I get to see her participate, be a superstar, come alive, come into her own. And I get all of those things I missed, they get made up on Tuesday nights at writing.
Oh my gosh. And it's Tuesday.
Tuesday.
This recording today, we're recording on a Tuesday, so it's a
Yeah.
good day. I love that. Oh my
Yes.
gosh, that's incredible. I love how you've been able to shift that focus or you know, like it would be really easy to focus on all of the things that you missed out on, but knowing that you have that gift each and every week now at 19, you know, not all of us get that.
Yeah, no. And she's been writing since she was 4. So we built Savannah Station, but anyway, so that's
That's
the
incredible.
again, only in Oklahoma could you be like, hey, this kid,
That's
she
right.
needs this thing and let's build it.
That's right. Yeah. And all of us are like, all right, what do you
Let's
need?
do
I
it.
mean, like, if you don't know anything about Oklahoma, like when we had, like, I've grown up here. So, like, I've been through at least 2 major tornadoes where I was involved. And, you know, like our news station gets on there, is like, bring water. We will bring water until the news gets on there and goes, quit bringing water. Now bring band-aids. We will bring band-aids until they go, quit bringing band-aids. Now bring this. Like, we are a giving community full people
Very
for
much.
sure. That's right.
Absolutely. Very, very much.
Very much. So tell me about what you've done leading up to what you do now. What laid the
Mhm.
foundation? Because being in marketing, being in the space you're in, you know, there are a lot of people out there giving advice that they ain't got no dang business giving.
Preach it. Mic drop.
Preach it.
Mic drop.
Thank you. Right now, we're
How
gonna
can
put
we do
on
mic
the
drop? Mic
yeah.
drop. Okay, yes.
Well, we
And
put
we're
on the
not
crown
saying,
on this
okay,
show.
put the
Yeah, this
crown
is
on. I'm gonna
literally
wear
things.
one too.
Quit teaching stuff you don't know, people. Because
Okay,
Athena
so
knows.
I will say this. I don't want to be snarky to people or put people down, but here's what I want to say before I say that, to agree with you 100%. Please do not start coaching something you haven't done because you're dealing with other people's lives.
That's right.
These are human beings.
Mhm.
They deserve your best. So be
right.
transparent and honest about what you're really capable of doing. I've said my thing, so now I'll tell you the journey.
That's right. Thank you. We
Yeah.
call ourselves beginners if we're beginners, and
Amen.
that's okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Exactly. So one of the things, so I have been in sales and marketing leadership and management since I was 16. And I'm
Wow.
way past that. I had the privilege of working in multiple industries and working up corporate ladders to become early in my 30s into the C-suite. Now, what's amazing about that is I don't have a college education, so I worked my way up into that C-suite spot and worked my way to be able to work for HSBC, one is a Hong Kong Shanghai Bank Corporation, so big Fortune 500 company, and be somebody there. And won a lot of accolades. If I showed you my resume, it would be quite impressive. But I worked my toodles off. I'm just going to be honest. I worked really hard. If I had time, I'd tell you all the stories, but it was a very difficult rise and a lot of growth, right? I came from a very humbled childhood. So overcoming that while I'm a woman in the 90s, fighting in a male dominated industry and
Thank you,
figuring out how to
Athena.
win.
We owe it to you. Thank
No,
you. I was still
no,
sitting
there's
in
many
high
women that
school.
went before me. So,
Oh,
you know,
we
we
owe
just
it to you
keep
guys.
fighting. But
Mm.
that that went along. And then what happened is I started working when I moved to Oklahoma. So Savannah and I needed to move to Oklahoma. When we moved here, I started working for a international and national manufacturing company. Did very well there, but I became a single mom at that point with Savannah, and
Mhm.
I could no longer travel the globe and do all of the C-suite things and all the things that I'd worked so hard for,
Yeah. Oh,
all those
yeah.
things. I thought I've made it. I flew in private planes. I did all of the things, and the many women that are listening to this, I'm going to say, then it came that moment where I had to decide what's
Mm.
more important.
Mm.
So I had to take a step back. Even moving to Oklahoma, I took some pay cuts and demotions. And then I found myself in a position to need to do the same thing again in order to take care of her. Because at that time, especially, I could get a phone call in the middle of the day and we had an ambulance coming to get her. So
Mhm.
that was really complicated to juggle that, being a single mom and stay a career woman. A lot of
Yeah.
identity crisis there, right? But
Mhm.
made it through and talked to a friend of mine in town, and he connected me with 6 different CEOs. I said, I need to change. And I talked to all 6 of them. Interesting enough, the one that was going to pay me the least and was the least prestigious, true story, was the one that I felt God was telling me this is the place. And so
Mm.
I made that choice out of my faith. And then I went on a journey. It's a home building company here in Oklahoma. And we retooled the whole company. We built the sales and marketing from scratch and did all of that. It was through that process that I really learned entrepreneurial skills. I didn't have them before that.
Mm.
I could just go in and
Yeah.
then dominate, right? So then I had to learn.
Yeah.
It was through that, Amy, that I built. And by the way, I'm going to say this. Those 10 years, I've been there for 13 years, but the 10 years of building it, I actually guess 9 of really building it, were the hardest professional years of my life. And I'm going to be honest. I
Mm.
did, between taking care of my daughter and taking on a new husband who I love and this career, I didn't take care of myself. So I gained over 100 pounds, lost
Mm.
hair,
Yeah.
created health issues I'm still fighting through today. That's the just being
Mhm.
really frank. So those of you who are out there like, this is so easy. Wrong, right? It's not easy. Is it worth it?
No
It's
way.
worth it. Not easy. But so I built something pretty remarkable with that building. And um, people started asking me, how are you doing this? So I started just teaching it just to try to help people so they wouldn't gain
Yeah.
100 pounds and lose their weight. I mean, lose their hair. You know what I mean? Like,
All
come on.
right. Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
So I
Yeah.
started doing that and then was able to help some companies. And then I was like, huh. So
Hmm.
I decided
And
to
did
make
someone
it
ask you
official.
the question, why aren't you charging for this?
Yes.
Who
They
asked
did.
you the question? Someone asked, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my husband, first of all.
Well, first of all, your husband, like,
Yes, yes. And
excuse
my
me,
mentor,
here.
Darren Hardy. And the list goes on. But I was afraid, right? I was
Yeah.
comfy.
Yeah.
I had built this machine. Why would
Yeah.
I not sit back and drink the Mai Tais while the line, it was coming in?
Yeah.
But anyway, that's not my path. That's not what was meant to be. So I started the consulting business and excited. We've been doing it kind of half time for a year, really full time for the last 3 years. And now this year we're doing some transformational things and excited about the changes going forward.
Oh my gosh.
There
That is
it is.
incredible. There it is.
Yeah.
So you know the way. And I I heard you say like you were really hesitant to jump out into you had this load of experience in so many different industries. What do you think it was that was holding you back?
Okay, so very easy because it's something that I fight consistently. And that is, how is a woman, an obese woman with an abusive childhood who was told that she was nothing without an education, how is she going to go in and without a structure already built behind her, giving her some type of validation, how is she going to go stand in the marketplace by herself every single day and not hear those negative words saying you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not educated enough, you're not. And right?
There it is.
There
And
it
there it
is.
is. Because that's my story too. I was almost 300 pounds at one point, and I can tell you at 135, the feeling is sometimes still there, exactly the way it was, no matter like, because it's up here, right? Like I always thought it was something else, but we all have that inner voice that we have absolutely got to tame. If you are looking at going on an entrepreneurial journey or even just a business ownership journey or a little side hustle I want to make some money on, maybe might turn into a dream journey, be prepared for it to get spiritual and for it to get spiritual quick because it is a journey of spirituality that will test you and try you more than anything, right?
Oh, it does. And
I
it's
mean, oh,
interesting that every layer you develop yourself, it's a new layer of what, and I call this like your monkey on your shoulder. That's what I talk to people, right?
I like
And
that.
I'm like, you realize the layers, right, of the monkey
Yeah.
that is there and new things you
Mhm.
have to consistently shut it
Yeah.
up. I can't
Yeah.
tell you how many times people are like, I can't believe that you would have imposter syndrome. I'm like, why? Why would you not think that? We all have it, by the way. It's not that
Yeah.
we don't have it. It's what
Right.
we do when it talks.
Yes. Yes.
It's how well we can make it stop,
Mm,
making our behavior listen to it.
that's right.
Right? That's a difference. There's some things will get smaller, but I'm going to tell you, there's always going to be something new. Every time you're leveling up, there's going to be a new blah, 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 right?
Yeah. What do they
Difference
say?
is
New
high.
levels, new devils?
Yes.
Me,
But
me, me,
high
me, me.
performers, what we learn is to recognize it. Ah, you're talking again. Oh, it's you. Let's process through that. Let's work through that. And what do I got to do to not listen to you?
Yeah. So what did that shutting that voice down look like then early on?
Yeah.
And what does it look like today? Because for me, that's changed. The way
Yes.
I've had to combat that is now changed. It's a physical manifestation that I sometimes say and sometimes visualize, but I'm so curious to know what you used.
So early on, obviously, with my upbringing, I'm pro therapy. So I'm all about,
Mhm.
getting rechecked into therapy. But early on, it was understanding where the voices came from, what behaviors they came from, who instilled them, what trauma instilled them, awareness. Having
Yes.
true awareness of where they came from and understanding that they came from an exterior thing, not an interior that I allowed
Mm,
in. So awareness was the beginning, and then reshaping
yes.
those and creating some new beliefs about self.
Mhm.
That was the
Mhm.
beginning. Now today, it looks a little bit different as I come up against a new challenge, which I probably very much like you, right? I'm always in a challenge stage because
Constant.
we're choosing
Yeah.
to be there. Sometimes life in business chooses for you to be there, but sometimes, we're choosing to be there. Now, what I do is like you, I understand I am a spiritual, mental, physical being. And so now
Mhm.
I have to ground myself. I know this sounds crazy, but I have a grounding exercise where I put my feet. I
Yeah.
recognize when I can feel the negativity before I hear it. And
Mhm.
so I feel the energy in the body and the change. And so I get
Yeah.
grounded. For me, I breathe and I pray. Other people I know meditate, but I do a spiritual activity. And then I remind myself of a number of truths. What that does
Mhm.
is it slows that, it starts to, it doesn't give life to the negativity. Now, if it's
Right.
something that's really big, then I'll journal it.
Yeah.
If that doesn't do it, if it's something that's
Mhm.
really kind of needs to be unpacked, then I give myself space to unpack it and journal it. If I need to talk to a therapist about it. The difference now is I don't shame myself when the bigger ones come up.
Oh my gosh, that's so huge. That's so huge. Thank you so much for sharing that. Take her advice, guys. And trust me, this does not come overnight. Like, this is years of personal development. This is years of spiritual connectivity with your creator and prayer and all of these things combining. I wish, like, so many people have like, oh my gosh, 8 years ago, I was suicidal, alcoholic, unemployed, completely depressed, doing nothing, couldn't want to. And you're like, how did you go from here to there? And I'm just like, dude, one tiny little step at a time. Like, and the first step, now those steps are breathing exercises and visualizing a stop sign in my mind when this thought comes and all of these other things I've learned. But at first, man, it was like just getting up and walking to the kitchen, getting out of that major depressive state. Like, I mean, if you've dealt with depression, it's not easy to move whenever that's what it takes though.
Absolutely.
So lots of our listeners are moms.
Yes.
You are a mom. Lots of young moms these days wearing me out with toddlers. I can't imagine how exhausted they are from running around. Mine are getting older now, but tell us and you did a lot of this as not only a mom to a child with special needs, but a single mom.
For a while, yes.
For a while. So what are some of your best mom tips for moms who are, thinking about leaving? Because a lot of our listeners are in that corporate world. They're like, I've got an idea. I've got a stirring. It's time for me to leave. But how do I leave that stability, of this job and everything that we know to try and go do something that I have no idea how it's going to go?
First of all, I would do it. Okay. Before I tell you some best, I'm going to give you multi-layered advice because one is like the how to, the other one is the think through.
Yes.
Really, the one thing I would tell your listeners is please think through what you're doing. Do not do it because it's become cool to own your own business or be entrepreneurial. Please do not do that. I have a magnificent group of people that work for me that would be classified as employees. They are amazing. They make great money. They are respected. I couldn't do what I do without them. There is no shame in being an employee. So
that's right.
First of all, check the motivation. Why is it? Now, if you still feel like, you know what, I need to do that. I need to do my own thing. I need to go into entrepreneurship or that side hustle even, right? Yeah. And you're doing it for the right reasons. You're not doing it because society is saying it's cool. You're doing it for what you want. If you make that choice, then this is what I'm going to tell you. The number one thing that you need is to understand how to prioritize. If you do not know how to prioritize, then you are going to say yes to things that kill your energy. They're going to bring you shame. They're going to make you feel less, and you're going to give too much of yourself. Now, I'm saying that as a woman who has not done a good job at that. Okay. So this is something
that's why
Yeah. I prioritize like a queen at work. But when I prioritize my overall life, it has been much more of a struggle. And just in the last 3 years, have I started really working on it. And it's 3 years too late. Now I'm fighting so much because I didn't prioritize. So I say this from heart to heart to you, not that, hey, here's a woman that's got it all together. This is a woman that wishes she had taken her own freaking advice. Prioritize, don't just prioritize work. Prioritize your health, your spiritual health, your mental health, prioritize that. Even if you're a single mom and a business owner, if you do not do that, you will deplenish your ability to be good at the things you need to. So really sitting down with yourself and figuring out what are the activities I have to do to grow this business? What are the activities I have to do to take care of myself? What are the activities I have to do to be present and not have as many regrets? at the end of being a parent, right? I mean, we're always
Right?
at those formidable years. And
Yeah.
what are those priorities? And then you hold those priorities. And then the second thing you need to do is establish boundaries. Okay.
Mhm.
Establish boundaries around those priorities. This is critical because you don't have enough time to be everything to everybody. You don't have
That's
enough
right.
time to be the life of the party all the time and doing all
right.
the things. And I'm going to tell you, I'm in that season. Interesting. And most of my friends, their children are, I'm 50, and my friends, their kids are growing up and going out of the house. They're becoming empty nesters. They all of a sudden have all this free time.
Mhm.
I still have diapers to change of a 19-year-old.
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
have an empty nest thing. So they're all going out and calling me last minute saying, hey, can you go out? Can you do? No, I can't.
Mhm.
That's not my reality. And
Yeah.
you moms out there that are wanting to start a business, you're going to feel what I'm feeling right now. You're going to feel a little left out. You're going to have FOMO, you're going to
Yeah.
feel a little sad about it. But then
Mhm.
what you do is you remember the priorities. And for me, my daughter's the priority. My health
Mhm.
is my priority. My business is my priority. I have friends. I have a lot of acquaintances and a handful of really dynamic, badass friends, right? That's
That's
what I
it.
have.
Yeah.
And
That's what
you
it
do.
takes.
Right.
That's
So,
what it takes.
right. So
100%.
prioritize boundaries. And then the third thing, stop shaming yourself. Give yourself grace. You will
Mhm.
screw up. You'll make mistakes. You'll skin your knees. You'll have moments you have to cry yourself to sleep. Hey, this is normal. I don't want you to think that's not normal. One of my really good friends lives around the corner from me. She has children with special needs, and I do too. And she's just this powerhouse of a businesswoman and woman, mother. And I remember years ago, the first time we were in a conversation, and I told her, I said, sometimes I just have to go in my closet and shut the door and cry in a fetal position because it's too much. And
Mhm.
I'll never forget her looking at me and saying, wow, do you have your laundry on the floor when you do it like me? Or is it clean? And I thought, gosh, I feel so seen. And she is amazing, right?
Yes.
And I thought,
Yeah.
you do that too? She said,
Yeah.
yeah, we both do it. The thing is, we
Yeah.
don't stay in the closet,
That's
but we
right.
allow ourselves to
Mm.
have that moment without
Yes.
shame and still getting up, looking at the mirror and saying, you know what? We're still amazing, but
That's
we're
right.
human, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's a
prioritize
lot.
boundaries and
Oh
grace.
my gosh. Woo, girl, we could just like end right there. Like, I don't even feel like I need to say anything else. I'm like embarrassed to say anything else. I couldn't
No.
possibly top that advice, because what you're saying is absolutely true. I think one great thing that COVID brought was the idea and the knowledge that there was so much opportunity, but there's been this huge bandwagon of people leaving in mass from nursing, from teaching, from therapies, from mental health, becoming coaches and coaching and doing other, other side gigs and side hustles and other different kinds of businesses, when really they didn't want to own or run a business. And so I think what you said was so perfect. Like, first of all, ask yourself the question, is this what you really want? And I think a great book for that is Michael Gerber's E-Myth. If you guys aren't familiar with E-Myth, like that is the book for that decision,
Yes.
And I think, the book that I'm reading now for the third time in a row, The Big Leap, I think is absolutely, holy cow. That kid, have you read The Big Leap?
Yes, both.
Oh my gosh, like unbelievable,
Excellent.
unbelievable books.
Read them both before you make
Read
a
them
decision.
both, guys. That's
read
right.
both.
Yeah. Read them both. Read them both.
Get
'Cause that upper
educated.
limit problem, is really tough. Trying
No.
to be, yeah, like, who are you? Just some, lower middle class girl from Oklahoma. Who are you to do this thing, right? Like that voice that we hear
You're the
constantly.
perfect person to do it. That's who you are.
Right. That's
That's
right.
it.
There
You're the
another
perfect
soul
person.
like you. That's right. That's right. So, Athena, tell us like, what does it look like to work with you? Who is the perfect person? Are you working with teams? Are you working with more of the C-suite leaders? Who is right for your program?
Thank you for asking that, because for my target market that has been my target market to get the business off the ground has now shifted.
Okay.
Our target market currently right now are business owners who have 10 plus employees,
Okay.
C-suite, or team leads or teams.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really my expertise. I have a 10-step process of fundamental sales. And I go in, I just had one of these onboarding with a big tech company in Colorado yesterday, and a lot of fun. And just talking to them through, it's really interesting. In tech company, they're already successful too, by the way. So these aren't startups. These are people who are successful, but their sales are not stable. They know they have more potential, but they feel like sales is in a black box. And so they're like, what do we do? How do we do this? Really do this to get and so I come in and we analyze the 10 steps. I look at their business chart. We look at the different areas in their business in the sales and marketing arena, and we start building the foundation. So that's what's fun, is to getting there. Just yesterday, having that conversation, and within 30 minutes of his onboarding, we already had 2 big things that he was like, holy, and this was what's so fun, is that I can have these conversations, and all they see, instead of seeing, oh my gosh, I have all these opportunities, I'm not doing these things. I'm like, these are dollar signs, baby.
That's right.
Dollar signs, Like, this is awesome that you have all of this opportunity. It just means we're going to 10x your sales, dude.
Right?
He was so excited. He was like, yeah. And I say dude because he's from Colorado, and we were literally like, hey, dude,
Hey, dude.
So
I love that.
I have a conversation next week with a company in SoCal. I won't be able to say dude, but be whatever they need me to be. So that's who I'm looking to work with, and come in and help stabilize and grow the sales and marketing force. But I will say, to your point, I can tell them what they need to track in marketing and who they need to hire. I am not the person that's going to do their marketing. So one of the reasons I'm so excited I met you, because I'm like the plug and play person. I tell them what CRM to get. I tell them all of these things and say, I do this part, but here's my team that I know are resources to help you get the overall package.
Yes. I love that, man. I love that. So now it's just, the curiosity is going to kill me. I want to know what CRM you love. What's your favorite?
HubSpot.
Okay. All right. You're a HubSpot girl. Love it.
Oh, total HubSpot. Yep. Love it. I know. And I don't get paid for that. Everybody, when I speak and go out and talk to people, they're like, you should get paid for that because you talk about it so much.
Where's your affiliate link at least?
I know. I need to work on that. I told you, not good at the marketing thing. That's fine. I need to, right?
That's hilarious. I love it. Yeah, definitely. Hey, if GHL is paying people to be big time sponsors, HubSpot can pay you to be a sponsor. I like it. Right. That's right.
I need to do that. I'll tell my team to get on that.
That's right. I'm sure they've got at least an affiliate link spot.
Probably.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much for being my guest. Is there anything that you have a burning desire to say before you get off here? Anything I didn't ask that you wanted to be sure and say?
No, this has been really fun. The only thing I'd like to just wrap up is that you're worth the effort.
Yeah.
You're worth the effort.
You are. You absolutely are, because she and I are living proof. You can do something completely out of your comfort zone, something you never thought you could do. Just jump and fly, baby. You could do it.
Yep.
You are worth it. I love it. Tell us where we can find you online, Athena.
AthenaCaptain.com. And you can email at athenacaptain.com. Try to make it easy.
AthenaCaptain.com. Let Athena be your captain. She will steer your ship in the right direction and find all the areas of opportunity for your sales team right now. I love it. Thank you for being my guest. And thank you, Athena, for being a queen that leads.
Thank you so much.
The Queens Lead podcast is recorded worldwide and produced by the kick-ass media team at the Height Digital home base in Nicaragua. Until our next episode, stay real, Queens, and go lead. Remember to tap that follow and leave your review. For freebies and more real, inspiring content you love, go to amysingleton.net and connect with Amy on her socials. at The Real Amy Singleton.
One more thing. This is the legal language, what my lawyer wrote and what I need to read to you. This podcast is presented for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am Amy Singleton, and I'm just your friend. Although I may speak to many on this show, I am not a psychotherapist, a business coach, a doctor, a CPA, a lawyer, or probably anyone who should be giving you professional advice. This podcast is not a substitute for a relationship with your doctor, coach, or any other licensed professional. Got it? Good. Now go be a queen and follow me at The Real Amy Singleton.